The smartphone revolution has changed a lot of what you carry along with you. There's no longer a need for a map book in your car or a camera around your neck. A stranger's car to pick you up is now in your pocket. It also created a barren patch of skin on many arms where something called a wristwatch used to be. I, of course, have stayed old school. But long before the cell phone, telling time was totally disrupted by the wrist. Several years ago, I did a fun story with the Henry Ford Museum's Curator of Decorative Arts, Charles Sable, on the history of the watch. What does your wristwatch say about you?
It says who you are. It talks about your personality.
What, that I'm beige?
You said it, Mo, not me.
I invited Charles back to discuss the ongoing disruptive nature of these timeless creations. Charles, always good to see you.
Good to be here.
Let's look at the screen.
Okay.
How and when do clocks make their way from the wall to our wrists?
They come about, for most people, in the middle of the 1800s, when clock parts were miniaturized into pocket watches.
So the pocket is the way station between the wall and our wrists.
That's right.
There were watches made for women in the early 1900s, but that's not when they truly took off.
The real, true first wristwatches that we think of, people wearing, were done for aviators.
My goodness, the history of the wristwatch is a history of disruptions, constant disruptions.
Big disruption in our lifetimes came during the 1990s and 2000s with the evolution of the cell phone. Cell phones could do things that watches could do, much better and faster and easier. Since the introduction of the smartphone, wristwatches have become totally unnecessary.
But lately, the wristwatch has made a comeback.
In 2012, the first wristwatch as a smart wristwatch was developed. Certainly after 2015 and certainly after 2020, smart watches are everywhere. The question in my mind now is, what's going to happen to the cell phone?
Because the cell phone for a while was feeling pretty great about itself, just looking at that wristwatch going, ha, ha, ha. Now the shoe is on the other wrist.
Correctamundo. It is absolutely all about the miniaturization of all the features that a cell phone can have on your wrist.
Is this a happy ending for the wristwatch?
I think it is.
That may be true, but as the old saying goes, only time will tell.